I'd like to bring in Hannah Yellop here, who's an associate in family law and joins me now. Good afternoon, Hannah.
Good afternoon. Thank you for inviting me to the discussion.
Oh, thanks so much for being here and giving us some insight on the legal side of it. Now, Hannah, have you noticed a rise in polyamorous marriages and divorces in your practice in recent times?
Definitely noticed that there's an increase in inquiries and things like that about, obviously, around a lot of it is relationship breakdown and what that then means, because it doesn't look like the conventional relationship or marriage that we're all used to seeing in movies and books, TV. So they're just not sure where to place themselves. But there has definitely been an increase in general in terms of people coming forward, if you like, and saying, this is me, this is the relationship that makes me happy. And it's very interesting that there was a survey actually done by YouGov years ago, 2019, that said that 7% of the UK population have been in a consensual non-monogamous relationship at some point in their life. And that's an increase from 2% only a few years before when they did the previous study. So just on that alone, that's 2019, it's only going to increase. And I think Molly was right that there is an element of, when you have books coming out, TV shows, both here and in the US, and also movies coming out like Challenger last year with Zendaya, which are all sort of touching on this subject of polyamory, or triads, thruples, whichever term you obviously are more comfortable using. It's all bringing that conversation to the fore. And so it's not necessarily that these people obviously didn't exist years and years ago. They've been around for a long time, but they're now feeling more comfortable, and that's
Yeah.
obviously wonderful.
Yeah, I mean, so comfortable that they're coming to you and talking to lawyers about it. What are the sort
Yes.
of legal challenges and situations that these new arrangements and dynamics present for you as someone in the law?
There's a lot of issues that are similar to heterosexual couples, marriage, civil partnerships, things that we've obviously heard of before. They're all concerned with things like property rights or child arrangements and things like that. As you would expect from any relationship or couple or parents, what we're noticing is that we're getting an increase in multi-parent families where
Interesting.
you've got a polyamorous relationship. There are children. Some of those parents may be biologically related to the child, some are not, but obviously they've raised them as a unit, a family. And we've had a lot of cases where there are more than three parents in that arrangement.
Hannah was talking about complex issues surrounding relationship breakdowns, including multi-parent households, which there is a huge growth area. And as she said, there is evidence that more than 70%, 7%, not 70% of the UK have experience of being in an open relationship already. Hannah, you were just talking about multi-parent households. Do you think that the law is suited to these families now, or is there a sense that the law was designed to be applied really to nuclear families and that it's not really been flexible enough for these new sorts of households yet?
That's actually a very interesting question. I think at the time a lot of these laws were written, I think the people understandably who were writing about them maybe weren't aware of these types of relationships. As I said before, it doesn't mean they didn't exist, but it doesn't mean that the law that we've got isn't flexible enough, adaptable. As I say, we've had an increase in cases. Most recently, I did one with multi-parents, and we were applying, not to bore anybody, but the Children Act 1989 is adaptable for that situation
I'm
because at
very,
the
very glad to hear that, Hannah. I'm so sorry. We're going to have to leave it there. But I'm very, very grateful to your time this afternoon. That's Hannah Yellop, who's an associate in family law.